there's no flavor. There's no flavor. This is just a very basic story. I'm imagining this is the adult version of Alina and the Darkling. So excited, please don't let me down. Well, good morning, my friends. I have my coffee in hand, and it's the start to a new week. So this month I'm challenging myself to read 30 books in 30 days, even though October has 31 days. I know, I'm silly. Check out my TBR if you are confused by this, but basically I want to try and read as many unread books that I can this month. So I'm really excited to read a ton of books. So I'm going to go over my TBR with you after I drink some of my coffee. And yes, my bookshelf is still really unorganized. I'm hoping to fix it this week, which you'll see in this vlog, but there'll be a whole video that comes out for the bookshelf organization. But if you're curious, this half is all my like read books and the mangas. So this half is read, and then this half is unread. So this is where I'm going to be pulling from to read. If you didn't see my TBR, you wouldn't know, but I have a bunch of books that I'm so excited to read, and I have a bunch of books that I have audiobooks for, books for the Brown Girl Book Club. But let me get into my TBR for the week. Okay, let's talk TBR. I'm going to use this challenge as an excuse to finally read all the books that I've been meaning to read. I'm also in the middle of 2 books that I'm hoping to finish this week. So I have Ace of Spades, which I've been reading for like, I want to say since it came out, honestly. Next we have Foundation, which I want to say I can fly through because it's a very short book, but it's high sci-fi. And then I have 3 books available through my Libby, which one I just started today, which is Uprooted by Naomi Novak. I don't know what it's about really, besides the fact that in this world, because it's a fantasy, I know it's a story retelling of either Rumpelstiltskin or something, but in this world there are villages, and this specific region is ruled by a dragon. He's actually just a magician, but every 10 years he picks a girl who is born in the month of October during a specific year, and he picks one of those like 10 or so girls to live with him for 10 years. And normally when they come back, their like reputation's destroyed because they were living alone with a guy, but they always come back with like a higher education. They end up going to university, and they end up leaving the villages forever and traveling. So normally when a woman gets picked, it's just their history is kind of erased and they're set on a new life, and it's a little scary. So we're following a girl who didn't think she was gonna get picked because she's really, you know, bland. The guy called her a horse face earlier, which is like really mean, but I laughed out loud so hard. It was so out of Left Wing. I was like, what's happening? But she didn't think she would be chosen. She's messy, she's klutzy, she can't cook, but I think she has some magical affinity, and that's why he chose her. So it's been a very interesting read so far. And then the last 2 books that I have here that I have available in Libby, I have like 4 or 5 days to finish either of these, so I have to get to it, but we'll see. So I have I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings by Maya Angelou and Warcross by Mary Lou. Another science fiction. I'm so excited to get more into science fiction. I feel like it's a genre that I would really love. I think it's just always been slightly more intimidating, but I just finished, let me talk about something I just finished. I haven't been doing too many wrap-ups because I think I've been reading maybe 4 books or 5 books a month, which is still a decent amount. I mean, I could still do a wrap-up, but I just haven't felt inclined to. I think my reading mood has just been like a little soured, either from stress of life and just all that stuff. So I think October is my month to read more. But I recently finished Gear Breakers. I actually really enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. I think there's some bits where I got confused about like technology and things like that, but I thought the concept was really cool. If you like Gundam, like giant machines and things like that, fighting, very much just like this. So this is a story about 2 girls. I don't want to spoil anything. So basically 2 girls, opposite sides of the war, kind of come together and realize they have similar aligned ideas, and then there's a little romance between them. We love queer characters. But I do say my favorite part about this was the reality of when you become a rebel, like your life in turn is just upside down. You don't want people to die. You try and detach yourself from people so you don't get hurt when they get literally stepped on by giant monsters. But also the deep love and connection that happens with these rebels and these kids, and how I loved how they kept talking about kids having to fight these wars and that they really shouldn't have, like, we should be doing normal kid stuff, and they just don't have that possibility. I will say it did feel a little slow, so that's why I'm not giving it like a perfect 5-star. This might in time become more like a 3.5, but the ending, I really enjoyed it. I have no idea where this is gonna go, and I'm very scared for the main girls, so I really enjoyed it. So this was the sci-fi that I was like, that's cute, I want more. No, wait, there was a better one that I just finished. Wait. I finally read This Is How You Lose the Time War, which, incredible. I can see why so many people like this book. I find it to be so interesting, and I feel like this is that high science fiction world that I really just craved. The writing was immaculate. Basically, this is a story about red and blue. They're on opposing sides of a war, and they're both time travelers. Or not really time travelers, but they have the ability to walk through time. So it's kind of like Loki. Basically, yeah, red and blue, opposite sides of this war. They're fixing the future strands to benefit their side of the war. So they're constantly manipulating history, going back and forth, and they start a correspondence. They start sending letters to each other, which is really dangerous because literally their leaders can go into their brain and like see what they're doing and see what they're thinking about. So it's super dangerous, and it starts off kind of coy and then they kind of fall in love. So This Is How You Lose the Time War. I just think the title is so apt too, but I didn't even realize it while reading it. The love itself wasn't very realistic, but I still gave it a 5-star because I think the world was so enticing, and I couldn't imagine being a lone agent and having no contact with anybody, no desire to sleep or eat, and just feeling like an entity that's always being pulled into a million directions, and finally finding some grounding and fighting for it. Very good. All that science fiction goodness. 5-star. Okay, well, that's it for like my reading update. I know it's so long, sorry. I think for the rest of today, I'm just gonna focus on reading Uprooted, which so far I'm very much enjoying, but I will keep you posted. What's up? It's much later, and I am still reading Uprooted, and I've actually read a lot today because the few things I needed to do, I decided to do tomorrow. Oops. This morning, how do I say this without being gross? It's my time of the month, so this morning has been rough. And by this morning, I mean, oh my god, it's already 4 p.m. It's been a rough day. I am tired and just not feeling well. So I just decided today is a chill day. I was going to try and upload a video for today, but I'm just going to do that tomorrow. I'm continuing to apply to like full-time jobs, and I don't have any self-tapes at the moment, so I can breathe for just today. But I am 155 pages. Where are you? Chapter 13. So I'm actually now on to chapter 15, so I'm 200 pages in. So I have read about 7 hours, and I have 11 hours left, 5-ish hours, and it's 4 o'clock. So if I actually just keep reading, I could totally finish this book today, which would be wild. So 200 pages in, and this is a epic ass book. Like, I know people talk about Uprooted being a good book all the time. I just didn't realize how good, because I feel like so much has happened. In the first like 100 pages, I was like, wow, this feels like this would happen. Like the entirety of the first 100 pages feels like what would happen in the entirety of one YA novel. Like, there's so much happening, and I'm thoroughly enjoying it all because I'm like, no idea what's gonna happen. And I don't think it was really spoiled on the back of the story, because you know how some books are like that. So I definitely want to check out more of Naomi Novik's other work. I know that she had a dragon series too, so I'm just gonna keep reading and keep chilling. Today I'm being so bad with coffee. I've had 3 cups today. It's bad, but I don't know, drinking something warm definitely helps my tummy. Ugh. Maybe I should read something else too. I don't know. I'll keep you posted. I forgot it might actually help me to tell you what Uprooted's about. that might be helpful. A summary that won't give any spoilers is that this book is about a world where there is this dragon who is a wizard. He is in charge of the region to protect them from the wood. The wood is the forest, but it has a lot of corruption and like bad creatures in it, and it's basically trying to spread across as much land as possible, and the dragon, the wizard, keeps it under control for the most part, but sometimes some creatures get loose and taint people, and those people who get tainted become like murderous, vicious creatures. So it's always really bad. Another thing that the wizard does is every 10 years picks a girl, and I think I told you that he picked this main girl and we're following her story, but she just so happens to be a magician and she is capable of doing magic. She just does it in a different way than him, so they contrast really well and they challenge each other. There's a bit of romance kind of happening between them, and I'm kind of vibing with it. I'm imagining this is the adult version of Alina and the Darkling. By the way, I have not read Shadow and Bone, but I hopefully will this month. I'm very excited for it. I was looking for it on my bookshelf. I don't know where it is. Well, hello. It is much, much later, and I would love to say that I finished Uprooted, but I haven't. But I do have, like, I think less than 100 pages or a little over 100 pages left. I'm definitely gonna finish this tomorrow and then immediately start my next book so I can get 30 books done. But yeah, I'm loving it. I'm 300 pages into it and it's great. I genuinely feel like I've been through the wildest journey. There has been so many turns, twists, turns, betrayals, and I feel like they're all kind of converging, like purposefully, like someone intentionally is messing with these people and corrupting things, and it's just very, very interesting. I'm really, really enjoying it. And then tomorrow will be full of lots of other reading. So excited. Yeah. I've been very bad. I haven't finished Uprooted, and it's currently Sunday. Yay for me. Oh, I was just in, I don't know if you can tell, StreamYard. I just did a reading sprint on my channel. Was there for like 2 hours hanging out, chilling with you. If you were there, I love you. Comment down below, let me know. But yeah, it was a fun time. I decided instead of reading Uprooted, because I didn't want to listen to an audiobook, I wanted to keep reading Ace of Spades instead. I got 70 more pages in, so I'm now on page 250. I actually kind of feel like napping, and I also have to film a self-tape tonight. So I might take a quick little power nap because I'm exhausted. But yeah, my bookshelves are still messy. Don't look too closely. But yeah, I'm pretty happy. I feel like this is the most I've read in a month in a very long time, and I'm only like three days into this challenge. Hopefully I'll finish Uprooted tonight, and probably pick up choked on air, ew. Probably pick up I Know Why the Caged Bird Sings, because that audiobook times out in a few days, like 3 days. I always do this with Libby. Why do I do this? Well, hello and good morning. I have updates. First of all, I want you to guess, if you've made it to this part of the video, how many books I've read in the month of October so far. It's October 6th. It's Wednesday. Guess how many books I've read in my 30 books in 30 days challenge. Luckily, I have finished Uprooted, but this has been the only book that I've finished. But this was actually an amazing book, and I highly recommend it. I would say that it's a 4.5 star. The takeaway from this is, like, it's great, it's fun, it's engaging, but I want to say from the like 50% mark to like the 95% mark, there's so much action that it kind of sometimes gets confusing or just like tiring. Like, I had to take so many breaks. I was like, what is happening? And I just had to keep like kind of putting it down, whereas at the beginning I felt the pacing really matched the energy. We're learning about things, even to like the 50% mark. It was very much like a really good pace, good action, good fight sequence, good questioning moments of what the F is happening. And then for some reason from 50% to like 95% it was all like fights and wars and murders, and it was just a lot. And there was about maybe 3 pages of rest in those I want to say like 200 pages. So that was the only downside, which is why it's not like a 5-star, because I don't think this is a book that I would have been able to power through because without the audiobook, because it was tiring to read all those action sequences. It genuinely was. Okay, now that you're updated, I finished 1 book out of 6 days. Hopefully today, since it's morning time, I'm feeling chill. I want to read at least like 2 books today. So let me show you my options. Okay, I have my options. Let's talk about it. So as I mentioned to you, I have the audiobooks for Warcross and I Know Where the Caged Bird Sings. I actually got the audiobooks renewed because I thought they were going to expire, but apparently no one else was waiting in line, even though my phone said they were, so I don't know how that happened. But if I'm being honest about my mood, I don't think I want to read I Know Where the Caged Bird Sings, because I do feel like after reading Uprooted, I just feel very taxed. So I don't want anything that's too like emotional, but I don't know. Then I also have Warcross, which I think is the better option, even though technically this is a sci-fi and I'm imagining there's going to be a lot of stuff happening. It's going to be more like a video game, and like I feel like that'll be a little bit more fun and engaging, and I've heard amazing things about this, and I love Mary Lee's writing, so leaning towards this. But then I have 2 other options. I have The Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I know is an emotional read, but it's short. I've always wanted to read it, and hey, if it makes me cry, like, a good cry is healthy for everyone on the occasion. And the last option is Hollowpox, the hunt for Morgan Crow. The decision has been made. I'm to read Perks of Being a Wallflower. Let's cry our eyeballs out. I might even try and watch the movie. I've never watched the movie either, so I'm really gonna be completely blinded by this situation. I have no idea what to expect from this. Oh my gosh, something I just realized is I didn't even read the first sentence to you of Uprooted or Perks of Being a Wallflower. So I'm gonna do that right now. The first sentence for Uprooted is, our dragon doesn't eat the girls he takes, no matter what stories they tell outside our valley. I feel like that is such an accurate representation of the book. And it's such a good first sentence. Okay, first sentence of Perks of Being a Wallflower, which I know is like a cult favorite, so I'm very excited to finally read it. First sentence is August 25th, 1991. Dear friend, I am writing to you because she said you listen and understand and didn't try to sleep with that person at the party, even though you could have. That is also just like a good first sentence where it just sounds like a teenager, if that makes sense. It sounds like someone in desperate need of help and friendship, but also like, I appreciate you. Like if you ever go out, if you go to a club or something and you meet like a stranger and you have that moment of, we are both vulnerable creatures and want to have friendship and connections, and you meet them and you like don't know this person, but it's like, we get each other. That's how I feel. But it's not like even like a deep conversation we get each other, but it's like you're in the bathroom waiting and you connect with that person who's like, I also have to pee and I can't wait. And you're like, same. You could have slept with that girl, but you didn't. It's like, that's the same energy I'm getting. Oh, I swear in that moment we were infinite. It was a cute moment. It's so cute. But there's so many problems happening with his sister. Oh my god. I'm like very concerned for her. Like very concerned. I'm 49 pages in and I think I just realized who Sam is in the story from one of Charlie's earlier stories of being in a party where a girl was violated in front of him. Sorry, graphic, I know, but trigger warnings for this book, obviously. So I think Sam was that girl, and that's why she has a reputation. I also think it's very interesting how women are depicted in this book, and I'm quite enjoying it because even though Charlie's sister tends to be kind of a free spirit, and she's obviously dating someone she shouldn't be, who is abusive to her. A lot of people would call her like easy or a snob or kind of slutty, and from Charlie's perspective it's not like that. Like, she's still a smart and beautiful woman. So I like how Charlie still depicts these women who go through these things as like smart and intelligent and beautiful. So I really appreciate that. I wasn't expecting that point of view. I did it. I finished The Perks of Being a Wallflower. It was great, obviously very deep, but I really just love all of it. I have no words. But yeah, 5 stars. A freaking new favorite. That makes 2 books for this month. month so far. I feel like I should pick up another small book, but my heart's telling me to pick up Warcross. I'm gonna do it. I know my room's very messy. I literally have been just sitting here all day, besides the times that I go and get food and do some work. But I love that now, since all my 5-star books are over here, and then over here are some like 4-star, 3 stars. I'm just gonna put this puppy right here. Cute little 5-star. Good morning, friends. I have my oatmeal here, my coffee here. Probably gonna watch some YouTube while I eat breakfast, but I wanted to update you on Warcross. Let me check what page I'm on because I don't remember. I'm on chapter 8 of Warcross, so I'm like 3 hours in, and if I'm being honest, after reading like back-to-back 5-star, like, writing makes you want to write a book. Like, have you ever read a book that was so well written you're like, I want to be a writer? I feel like that's how good the last few books have been. Like How to Lose a Time War. Uprooted was pretty good, like damn near close. It was like a 4.5-star experience. And then The Perks of Being a Wallflower, immaculate. This is kind of feeling 3-star energy right now, which is a little sad. I'm still gonna keep reading it because I've heard great things about it, but it's giving me, yeah, it's giving me very much Ready Player One vibes, where it's someone who is just poor and randomly has the talent to, you know, get noticed and stuff. So that's the vibe it's giving me. I don't know if I told you about Warcross, but it's like in a, you know, distant future when tech becomes more accessible and virtual reality becomes more accessible. Someone creates, this 13-year-old kid creates this industry where you can have virtual reality that taps into your mind rather than trying to project it and make it look real. It just taps into your mind and makes you see things through your mind, which is very interesting. This becomes a big industry, makes lots of money. The main character is really poor. She's lost her dad. She's been expelled from school. She's been to like jail, juvenile detention. So she's been really struggling with money and like fending for herself, especially in New York. I'm like, that's a really expensive city to try and live in when you're broke as dirt. So interesting. But yeah, that's the story so far. I don't want to. It's literally so much later. My camera died and I took that as a sign to do work, but I'm sure you're curious. How am I feeling about Warcross? What page am I on? Yada yada, how am I feeling? I am on page 237. But how I'm feeling about Warcross is actually pretty underwhelming. I do think, how do I explain this? I think because of how people hyped this book up and how I thought it would be really good science fiction, that I thought it would be really good. It's turning out to be just really average. If I'm being honest, I'm not invested in the love story. I'm not invested in the hacking situation. I don't know why. I don't know if it's because in comparison to How I Met the Time War, and like Foundation and Dune and other science fictions that I've read, this feels like okay, which is not the vibe I want. I love reading a book and it's like fantastic, you know what I mean? I need bodies dropping, I need action, I need to care. I just don't. Sad. Yeah, so I'm gonna try and finish this book, but if I don't enjoy it, I think I'm gonna unhaul it, which is the interesting thing after doing all these unhaul videos, that I feel pretty good unhauling a book right after reading it and being like, not for me, not for I. So we'll see if the ending sways me and if I'm even interested to continue the series, because I might be swayed. We'll see. I'm kind of hoping that I'm swayed. It's currently like 7:50 and I'm so proud of myself for being up and dressed. I have a self-tape. That's the only reason why I would ever wake up this early. Ew. But also, yay, self-tapes. I need to close my closet, but I cannot believe it is 8:30 right now. I don't remember the last time I woke up this early. But yeah, and I'm ready. I brushed my teeth. I'm gonna have breakfast, and I'm gonna try my best, my darndest, to finish Warcross. I have an hour and 30 minutes left, and it started to get really heavy on the romance, and I'm not liking it because I don't care for the characters. I feel like they just haven't had enough struggle, if that makes sense. Like, I feel like she had struggles with like money, but we didn't really see her struggle. And then like everything changed when the Fire Nation attacked. Everything changed when like she hacked the thingy and got noticed. The main character, the male, I forget his name. I can't believe I forgot his name, but just swept her dead away and all this stuff. So it's like she doesn't have a reason to struggle anymore, and now they're just fighting for like someone's life, and there was a near-death experience. But it's like otherwise I'm like, where's the, there's no flavor. There's no flavor. This is just a very basic story. I hate to say that. I was so hyped for this, and that's why I think I'm being so harsh on it, is because I like sci-fi. I've been really getting into sci-fi, and this just ain't it. I just finished Warcross, and wow, that's like one of the worst cliffhangers I've ever had, because I didn't really enjoy reading this book. I ended up just kind of barely listening to it because I did not care for the romance. Something that I thought was just so predictable, and then it happened, and now the cliffhanger is like, I have to decide between the two and figure out what to do. And it's like, no you don't. Just do what's right. Like, don't pick a side, create your own path. Like, you act like you have to listen to these two boys or pick a side, and I'm just so over it. Okay, moving on. Finished my third book, and I'm unhauling it. And I'm not even gonna try and read the second book because I do not care what happens, if I'm being honest. Moving on to the many other books that I could possibly read today. I'm hoping to squeeze in 2 more books because it is the 8th, and I've only read 3 books. So if I kind of read like 2-ish books a day for the next few days, that would be swell. Okay, for today's selection, I have a lot of short books that I could hopefully finish today. We'll see what happens. So I think the first one I'm actually going to read, because I really want science fiction, good science fiction, like, ugh. So I have The Wind in the Door, which is the second book in the quartet of A Wrinkle in Time. I don't know if that's what the whole series is called, but A Wrinkle in Time. Yeah, it's only like a 5-hour audiobook, and I did enjoy A Wrinkle in Time. I think I gave it like 4 stars. I thought the writing was very like middle grade, where it's like super visual, and for some reason middle grade sometimes hits harder than YA. I don't know why. I think it's just the writing. I feel like there's so much care in how you say your words in middle grade, whereas YA not so much. They're just like action, romance, love, da da, and all this stuff. And I just feel like middle grade takes its time. It's like very, very fast paced, but each sentence is just sometimes articulated so well, in my opinion. Some middle grade, probably not. But I just feel like this middle grade, Root Magic, the Nevermore series, so good. Written so well. So I have high expectations. I probably should lower them. But I'm so excited for good science fiction. I want some space travel. I want some kick-ass stuff to happen. I don't know. 2 other books that I have audiobooks for is When They Call You a Terrorist, which someone just commented saying that this is one of their favorite books. And lastly is a cute contemporary. Okay, maybe I should read this first because I just got really excited and I want to be excited. This is YA, but this book is written by Leah Tamani. She wrote another book that was sent to me very kindly by the publishers, and it's so good. It's like what I knew. Where is it? All the Things I Never Knew. A great love story. So I think I'm gonna start with this. This is like a 4-hour audiobook, so it's the longest of the audiobooks, but I'm most excited for it. Okay, I'm starting my journey on Calling My Name. I actually don't know exactly what this is about. I'm just going into it blindly and hoping for the best. Maybe that's not a good idea, but I'm doing it anyway. I know this is actually her debut novel, so I'm very interested to see if I love it as much as I liked her other novel, which I mentioned earlier, but I'll just pull it out since I'm closer to it now, and I love it and more people need to read it. All the things I never knew. First of all, this cover, stunning. If you like basketball, if you like romance, if you like contemporary that talks about real issues, trauma that ain't black trauma, but regular bleep trauma. I was gonna say regular ass trauma, but I don't know why I didn't want to cuss. Whatever. So good. So good. Okay, but I figured I'd read the first sentence to you and see what's up. What's up? First chapter, a movement. There's something moving inside the walls of my body. Sounds gross. I'm a little confused on what's happening. What's in her body? That just sounded creepy, but I guess she likes music, is what I'm assuming. Y'all, I have decided to DNF, calling my name. Wow, that's crazy. I was so excited to start reading this. I still genuinely love her other book. I think it just is a little bit more my age and my style. I love the way she wrote. I still like her writing, but I'm not enjoying this story. It's about a girl growing into her own, but it's very, very religious. I've got 100 pages in, and I decided I really don't know where the story is going besides the fact that she's just opening to questions and her body's changing and how she sees boys and how they see her. And I mean, impactful. I bet someone else will like this a lot more than me, because right now I'm sitting here like, okay, I wanna, so, DNFing and literally putting into my stack of unhaul books. I like the fact that I have my stack here, because then anytime I'm like reading a book or feel inclined to unhaul a book, like I'm just putting it in the stack. I'm like, no thank you. So that's a weight off my shoulders. I think what I'm going to read next, which I was very excited for, which, God, I hope it doesn't let me down, is The Wind in the Window? No, A Wind in the Door. So we'll check this out. And I will be still counting Calling My Name as a book read, because technically the challenge is to read 30 books. I mean, it'd be great if I finished 30 books, but I'm still going to count it because I still read 100 pages into it. I read like over 30% of the story, and since it wasn't engaging, I'm not going to force myself to like finish it. I feel like that's what I did with Warcross, and I feel like I wasted a lot of time when I just knew that it wasn't my style, wasn't my vibe. And that's the cool thing about unhauling and things like that. You're figuring out your style and what you like, and it changes with time. So I feel like I'm figuring out what my tastes are currently. Okay, let's check out the first sentence. So excited, please don't let me down. Oh wow, she's written so many books. So chapter 1, there are dragons in the twins' vegetable garden. That's really funny. I don't know why I find that to be so funny. I'm so excited. I hope this is cute and sweet, just like I hope. Okay, I am getting ready for my next like little reading stint. I'm so excited. The audiobook for this honestly is like 2.5 hours, so I'm sitting down and I'm gonna finish it. I'm so excited. I'm actually really enjoying it. I'm like now 50 pages into it. So it is Saturday, October 9th, which means if I'm on track for my 30 days for 30 books for 30 days challenge, I should be 9 books deep, which I'm not. No one is surprised, but I read a lot of books this week. I'm very impressed. So as you guys saw, I finished Uprooted, 5 stars, 4.5 if I'm being picky. The next book I managed to finish was The Perks of Being a Wallflower. I'm so mad at myself I didn't read this sooner, but I guess like all the hype around it, I was really nervous that I was like not gonna be my jam, and it ended up being my jam, and I'm very happy about that. So a 5-star book. So after these 2 amazing books, I thought I would pick up a 3rd book and would be on a roll of reading epic books that were amazing, and it wasn't. And I actually am unhauling this book, so stay tuned for my final unhaul. But that is Warcross, and I also had Wild Card on my shelf and I was gonna read it, but I'm just not up to that. I gave this a 2.5. So I sadly spent like 7 hours reading that and was like underwhelmed. So I thought, you know, my next book would be so exciting, a contemporary I've been really looking forward to, and I DNF'd this one. And it greatly disappointed me, and it makes me really sad to say that, but it's true. But no worries, I love her second book, and I still think I'm gonna check out more of her works. I would just, you know, get it from the library first. I DNF'd it, and I'm actually happy I did that because then I picked up this next book, A Wind in the Door. I will try and remember to leave these books in the description because during these vlogs, because I'm going to do weekly vlogs for my 30 books in 30 days challenge, I'm going to be reading a lot of books, so I'm going to try and remember to put them in the description box so you can check them out. But this is the second book in the quartet, in the A Wrinkle in Time quartet, I think it's what it's called. I love these books. I think they're fun because it's like science fiction for middle grade, so it's like really, it's not that easily attainable, but I really like the concepts and how they're explained so well. Like literally we start the book off with Charles Wallace seeing dragons in the yard, and he has like this cool feather, and we see scales, and he's like, there are dragons in the yard, Mother Effa. I know you don't believe me, but I can read your mind, so I know that you don't believe me. And it's just, we're off to a great start. This is a 4-star only because towards the end I actually don't like Meg as a character, to be honest. I feel like she's supposed to be like us, the person who doubts the most and is insecure and all that stuff, but I just don't think she's as interesting as all the other people around her. Like Charles Wallace is so interesting, but I definitely want to continue this quartet. I feel like these are books that I want to give my kids. If you made it to the end of the vlog, comment this emoji so I know you are the real MVP. That makes 5 books for week 1, which isn't bad, especially because I'm about to jump into a bunch of comic books, but that's for a Patreon vlog. So first of all, if you are a patron, I love you and I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I love you so much. Okay, but if you are not a Patreon, if you love my content and want extra content, feel free to like subscribe to it. You get extra bonus vlogs and little pictures and get to chat with me. So I highly recommend it. But yeah, I think this is a great start, but I feel like this is more than I read last month, and it's the first week of October, so I'm so excited to see where this month leads. Next week, I'm going to start my spooky TBR, so stay tuned for that. Year of the Witching, The Conductors, White Smoke by Tiffany D. Jackson. The list goes on. I am hyped. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope this video gave you a little bit more sunshine, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!